Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your September read. This is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot, and this is the September read for Cancer. It is a love reading this month. We're going to do love readings this month, but they are not romantic love readings, though they may end up that way. They are readings focused on self-love. How do we love ourselves better? And how do we improve our connection to spirit? That is the focus. We have a set of questions we're going to be asking this month, Cancer. We're going to ask Spirit some questions. We're going to use a variety of decks and explore how we can love ourselves better, how we can deepen our connection with Spirit, and what we need to support us in our journey forward into deeper understanding of ourselves and the divine. If you're looking for a standard romance reading, there are many excellent readers here on YouTube, and you can find, I'm sure, quite a variety of September readings that are focused on love, on romance, soulmates and twin flames and divine masculine and feminine and all of that. But this isn't going to be that. This is focused on how to love yourself better. Okay? So I have a variety of decks we'll be using. We're going to start here with the Mythic Tarot. This is a very old deck I've been using for 30 plus years, and I don't think it's still in print, but there probably is a later version of it that you can find on Amazon if you like that artwork. We also will be using the Illuminated Tarot. This is an interesting one. It's only 52 cards, so there's overlay. The major arcana are overlaid onto the suit cards. This is this deck here by Caitlin Keegan, the Illuminated Tarot. And I got this at Anthropology, but you maybe can find it also on Amazon. I'm not sure. This is the Thoth Tarot. This is the Aleister Crowley Golden Dawn Tarot. It's a little different than the Rider-Waite, and I have a guidebook that we can consult for some deeper meaning. It breaks down the essence of these energies represented by the cards with light and shadow, purpose and intent of the cards. So we'll look where we need to look for those. It's slightly different. There are no kings in here. Some of the major arcana are different, but we'll be using that one as well. And I think you can get that on Amazon. Then we will use a couple of oracle decks, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck from Kim Kranz, Cancer, and then also this deck, which is the Oracle of Mystical Moments. Get the light there. And that is by Katrin Wells Stein, and you can get that on Amazon as well. We will finish up with these Making Magic Oracle cards. Okay, so that's that. We have 3 questions to start with, and I'm going to pull answers from this deck for the first 3 questions. I will shuffle 3 times. If nothing jumps out, we'll take the 3 off the top. Our first question is, what does Cancer need to focus on this month? In September. What does Cancer need to focus on in September? Second question, what does Cancer's subconscious want to say that they're ignoring? What's your subconscious coming to the front with, saying, hey, don't ignore me anymore? And the third question, how can Cancer be more true to themselves in September? How can Cancer be more true to themselves in September? One more shuffle. Our 3 questions. Looks like you have the Ace of Pentacles coming out first and foremost here. And then we have the Fool, and this is so bizarre because Gemini just got both of these cards, and I have so thoroughly shuffled this deck. Maybe there's some of you, oh my goodness. Gemini also got the Knight of Swords, but in different positions. They were reversed. Huh. Maybe some of you have Gemini in your chart, Cancer. This is interesting. It hasn't happened so far today. But what are you focusing on? You're focusing on some new endeavor, some new project, some new job maybe, a new way of making money. There's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of potential here for wealth, material success, and it has to do with something new. And this is what Cancer needs to focus on this month. The second card, what does your subconscious want to talk to you about? What are you ignoring? What's it trying to bring to you for your attention? And you're just going, no, I don't want to pay attention to that. In September, Cancer, Spirit is saying you need to get in touch with this part of yourself, this Fool energy. See how happy he is, even though he's about to step right off the edge of this cliff. He's looking at the sun. He's looking at the potential and the possibility, and he's not fearful. He's perhaps not fearful because he's too young and naive to know that he should be scared. But there's an aspect to that quality of being too young and naive to know that you should be scared. Because maybe you don't need to be scared. Maybe you've learned through experience to be scared, but it's not necessary. We can't see. It could be just like a foot drop, right? Not 1,000 feet. We don't know. And what your subconscious wants you to do this month, Cancer, is focus on that feeling of hopefulness and inspiration, diving into some new project without all the baggage of your built-up fears and concerns from past experience, to see with fresh eyes, to have that sort of childlike quality of just not even trusting that everything will work out, just knowing that it will, right? Because it's not about trusting. Trusting is you're aware it might not, and you have faith, however, despite that it will. And that's not what it is not quite what we have here. What we have here is you don't need to trust, you just know. You know it's going to be fine. Why wouldn't it be fine? There's not even a hint of doubt in your mind. You're not thinking about this new opportunity from the perspective of all the past experience and the fears that you're carrying. That's what your subconscious is calling out to you to pay attention to. You're capable of this. You're capable of taking on this new opportunity without sabotaging yourself with all the old fears. And then the third card, how can Cancer be more true to themselves? And here we have the Knight of Swords showing up. And this is about action and moving forward. And what I'm sensing here is that the way for you to be most true to yourself in September, Cancer, is to take up that invitation of the new opportunity and run with it. Charge, right? Charge forward, Cancer, into this new opportunity with a fresh mind and just knowing that it's the right choice and it is going to lead you where you need to go. That's the sense I'm getting. Let's take a look at the next set of questions. We have the Thoth Tarot here. I'm going to go through 3 rounds of shuffling. If nothing comes out, we'll take the 3 off the top of the deck. Our questions are, what does Spirit need from Cancer in September? We're always asking Spirit for things. And here, we're asking what Spirit needs from us, okay? What does Spirit need from Cancer in September? Second question, what should Cancer avoid in September? And third question, what should Cancer be grateful for in September? So what does Spirit need? What should you avoid? And what should you be grateful for during this month of September? I think that's 2. I don't know, I've lost count. Let's try one more shuffle, and then we'll take the 3 off the top to answer our next 3 questions. Oh, I'm not going to take those. All right. What does Spirit need? That's so bizarre. Huh. This was, I think this was also the Gemini reading, and I swear I've shuffled these cards so well. There's something going on here, Cancer. Gemini, Cancer, you've got a lot of similar themes going on. I think for some of you, there may be the 2 of you, friends, business partners. Anyway, the Moon, that is what Spirit needs from you. 5 of Cups, what you need to avoid, disappointment. We'll look into that a little closer for you. And what you need to be grateful for is the 7 of Cups, debauchery, right? You need to be grateful for some partying this week, this month. Let's see. So the moon is about these mysteries and the hidden, the subconscious, the fears that are controlling you. There's this maybe connects to what your subconscious is trying to talk to you about. There's a fear maybe that you don't know how to start again, and it's blocking you from this great new opportunity you're meant to be focusing on. You need to work on that. Spirit wants you to dive a little deeper this month, and this seems to be a theme for a lot of the signs this month we're getting. You know, the whole focus of this inquiry into how do we love ourselves better? How do we improve our connection to the divine? That's my overlying question for all of the signs this month. But the cards that are coming out, which are completely random draws, well, are they, right? The cards that Spirit is pulling forward, there's this repetitive theme of getting in touch with the deeper parts of yourself, the hidden parts of yourself, facing down your fears. It seems that what's on the other side of doing that work is everything. The ability to love yourself better, the deeper connection to divine. What do you need to avoid, Cancer? It's coming up as 5 of Cups, disappointment. There's a certain essence of regret and remorse in the 5 of Cups standardly. But I'm just going to pull up here the Thoth guidance just to make sure we have all of the subtleties covered. Find the Cups. So again, with the Thoth, there's a light and a shadow aspect. There's instinct, purpose, and quality. So the quality here is this feeling, sometimes painful feeling, but it's a new consciousness. The light aspect is separation, being awoken, and big changes. And the shadow aspect is bitterness and depression, feeling like you're stuck in some crisis mode. Cancer, there is here a sense of separating. There's some sadness in that. There's some tears involved. There's maybe some frustration and some suffering. And what Spirit is saying is you need to avoid focusing on this right now. With new beginnings, sometimes they're born out of endings, right? And I think, Cancer, something is ending for you. And there's a little disappointment about it. There's some sadness. There might be quite a bit of sadness, actually. It's hard to tell. But what Spirit is inviting you to do is to set that on the back burner, to focus more on the fears that are holding you back from a new opportunity. And if one of those fears is maybe change, then you need to work on that. But otherwise, there's no value in this month of September for you, Cancer, to spend a lot of time feeling your way through a sense of loss about what is ending. And I say that not to say that you shouldn't feel your way through loss. You absolutely need to. Otherwise, you carry it around for years and years, and that's not healthy for anyone. But what I'm saying here is that Spirit's guidance is don't put your energy into that this month of September. During September, a new opportunity is arising for you, and you need to tame this worry and this fear about starting fresh and moving forward. And if you're putting all your energy into sitting home crying at night about what you've lost or what ended that you didn't want to end, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So, next question, what should you be grateful for this month? And here we have the 7 of Cups. And again, I'm going to pull that up in my guidance for the Thoth because it's somewhat different than Tarot. So here the light aspect is a warning of false hopes and promises. And the shadow is desire, lust, lust that clouds pure desire. Okay, so it's not wrong to feel lust, but what it's saying is where it's only lust. And that lust and that desire, it's greedy in a sense, right? Not meant to be about sharing pleasure, but a greedy grabbing kind of thing, like more, more, more. That is the downside, the dark side, the shadow here, that can lead to lies and mistakes of judgment. There's a quality here of attempting sweetness and joy, but it's a fleeting one. It's an illusionary joy. It's not real joy, right? It's not real sweetness. It's not connection. It's not sharing. It's taking. And there are many willing to give in that shallow way. So it's not like a forceful taking, but it's not sharing. So it's pleasure, but it's really kind of rotten. You can see from this imagery, right? What was beautiful in the emotional connecting of the cups has been poisoned in some way. So our question was, what are you meant to be grateful for? And how are we getting gratitude? How do we feel gratitude? We feel gratitude for the short-lived joy of connecting and sharing in lust with other people. That's possible. We could be feeling grateful for the fact that we've been able to discern that a connection was just surface, that a connection was just this sort of poisonous, excessive, saccharine, sweet, false joy. Maybe that's what you're grateful for. And maybe it's related to this that you're meant to avoid. This is cups, it's emotions, it's connection. It could be a relationship that you've lost, and wallowing in the sadness of that is what you're meant to be avoiding, because there's a new work opportunity presenting itself. And maybe what you're grateful for is that even though this is painful, this change, Cancer, it's best that you know it now. It's best that you become aware now of the fact that it wasn't truly feeding your soul. That might be it. I'm not sure. There are a couple ways that could go. But certainly we can be grateful for the lessons that we learn from the difficult experiences that we managed to make our way through, right? The next two cards, I'm going to shuffle 3 times. I'll take the top and the bottom cards. And this is going to indicate what lesson you're meant to work on this month, Cancer. What is the lesson for Cancer in September? What's our homework? What are we going to be working on, Cancer, during September? What's our lesson? Spirit, guide us here. I hope Cancer figure out what their lesson is for September. All right. We have the Jack of Hearts, and in this deck, the hearts are cups. Okay, and then we have, we have the 5 of clubs. Clubs in this deck are wands. Okay. See the artwork there. So this is our lesson, and I'm just going to consult the little guide to make sure we're getting the full read here. Sometimes, as I said, in this deck, there are only 52 cards, so sometimes we have overlay. And I want to make sure I don't miss anything here for you. Cancer, the Jack of Hearts. This is about unconscious thoughts coming to the surface. This is about contemplation. You're thinking about these matters of the subconscious that we started talking about earlier. They're starting to come to the surface for you now through the catalyst of events that happen in September, and they're wanting your attention. They're needing you to start paying attention a little more to what's going on internally, Cancer, and what you are, what you're thinking and feeling. Sorry. The 5 here is the Devil card. Also, it's not just the 5 of wands. It also represents the devil. and it's about temptation, attachment, and control. So what I'm seeing here for you, Cancer, as your lesson for September is to think about the tempting, shallow sweetness of this past relationship that is ending, what that is triggering in you. I know that that word gets used a lot, and I don't mean it in the way that it's commonly used, I guess. It's what is that highlighting for you in your subconscious, in your fear of starting something new? How is this, the way this relationship played out, the fact that it didn't turn out to be something solid and meaningful and feeding your soul, and yet you still feel very much a sense of loss about that? There's some sort of addictive quality, perhaps, to that interaction that makes it harder to let go. It's like quitting drinking or quitting smoking or giving up your trips to the casino on the weekend. There's something about that relationship that, for you, Cancer, that was really, it was like a quick hit every time you were with this person. It just brought you way up high, and then just like sugar, it crashed you down because it wasn't solid. It was lust, and not in a good way. It was only lust, maybe. Only that greedy grabbing for more that never actually made you feel full. And your lesson for this month is it's interesting because Spirit doesn't want you to focus on that pain and that sense of loss. And yet your lesson is, how do we not do that again? So maybe don't get so wallowed and mired in the sadness and the depression and the sense of having lost something. Focus your mind more on the deeper parts of your mind, on that aspect of, how do I not do that again? What have I learned? What am I learning? What am I grateful for having learned in this experience that I can use going forward? And really, Spirit wants you to focus on this new job, this new professional opportunity, this new physical, real wealth generating opportunity, this new start. This is what you're meant to focus on, not the sense of loss. You know you don't want, you're grateful for what you learned, but you don't want to go back to that. You don't. You just don't. But you don't want to repeat it, right? You don't want to let a bad experience shut you down, Cancer. So that's what I'm seeing as your lesson here. This next question is, what do you need to let go of in order to love yourself better? And it plays in with this lesson usually, but let's see. We'll use one of the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit cards. Earthworm. And I'm pretty sure, I'll check the book, but I'm pretty sure that's about new beginnings as well. Potential. New starts. The earthworm is that earth energy. It's good. It's grounding energy. It's something that you need right now. Given this situation, if there is something that has ended, you might be feeling a little at sea, a little lacking in anchor, and this earth energy is good. It'll come in and help. So the earthworm is shy and hesitant and reluctant to share inner vision. When out of balance, you feel self-conscious, you feel apprehensive, but when you're in balance, you're intelligent, you're valuable to the community, you're valuable. There may be something about this ending relationship, realizing that it wasn't all you thought initially it was, working through this process of how to avoid that again, that has you feeling a little shy and a little hesitant to share your ideas and your vision. But you really need to be able to share your ideas and your vision if you're going to fully capitalize on this new work opportunity, right? So what Spirit is asking you to let go is that self-consciousness, that nervousness and apprehension about opening your mouth and sharing your ideas. You need to be able to share your ideas this month. That's how you capitalize on this moving forward and grasping this opportunity while it's in front of you, Cancer. Our last question is going to come from this Oracle of Mystical Moments. And we're going to ask, how Cancer can best support themselves in September through this whole process of starting something new, moving beyond, gleaning the lessons of what has ended, but not getting mired in feelings of loss or regret. As you're working on your lesson, as you're learning to let go of your self-consciousness, we have, interesting, the Art of Seduction, card number 14. I'm just going to see what we have here for that. This is a card about love, womanhood, passion, seduction. Let me see if you can focus. Yeah, you can see the details. Number 14, the Art of Seduction. We see an elegantly dressed couple, the woman close to the man as she whispers something in his ear. Is she talking about love? What kind of secrets is she telling him? In her red jeweled gown, the woman is aware of her powers of seduction. She uses her femininity, beauty, and passion. She tempts all of his senses, from the scent of a fragrant bloom to a soft touch on his cheek. There is incredible power in her gentle words and delicate caress. So, I don't want you to get hung up on the man-woman thing, because I think the energy here is that there is some experience. There's something, some engagement, some interaction that makes you feel utterly seduced. And I don't think it needs to be, a romantic partner. I think this man and this woman are just an archetypal indication that our brains can easily access, right? But I want you to see this woman as an idea or a feeling, okay? This is maybe related to this. It could be that it is related to this, right? There's something seductive in this month, something that's drawing you in, and it's just firing all of your senses. You're feeling very passionate, very awake because of it, right? This awakened sense that is potentially excellent energy to work with. And if taken in the wrong direction or not handled properly, can lead to this situation here that wasn't so great, right? So I think that this energy isn't about a romance, despite this very romantic or very sexual, sensual imagery. I see this as the seduction of your mind by an idea, right? And I think that's not necessarily good or bad. I can't really tell. I think you need to be aware in this process as you're exploring, how do I avoid doing things the same way again? How do I move into a fresh new start? And as that fresh new start progresses, maybe I have more fresh new starts. And how do I keep myself from falling into this place again where I hurt? Even though I appreciate the lessons I've learned from that hurt, I'd kind of like not to do that again. Kind of like not to hurt myself that same way again. And this new seductive energy, like I said, could very well be about this new opportunity here. It's interesting, Cancer. I'm not real sure. I'd love to hear your feedback at the end of the month about how that all played out for you. Last card of the day for our reading is one of these Making Magic cards. Just one last bit of guidance for Cancer Spirit before we leave. One last bit of guidance for September for Cancer. Oh, one of them flipped over. All right, what do we have for Cancer? Star. The silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. That's a pretty great thing, and that is, an image that you can recreate, kind of mindlessly draw throughout your day to call that energy to you. There's new energy coming. It's bringing you good luck and serendipity, and that's really a wonderful support to add to to your reading as you're looking at some new opportunities here. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me, Cancer. I really do appreciate you being here. I really am so grateful. Really, really, really. I'm working on speaking on video. It's not really something, it's not something I've done much. So I'm still working on the verbal tics I have, okay? Thank you for your patience. It is wonderful to see the subscriber number grow, to see the likes, to see the comments from folks when the messages resonate for them is just inspiring. This is something that I felt called by Spirit to do, to start sharing these messages. And the fact that they're getting out there to some folks that find them useful is just heartwarming, truly is. If you'd like to join us on our over on Facebook, we've got a group and post daily card pulls in the mornings. It's not sign specific. It is simply, one little message from Spirit in the morning for whoever needs to see it. And I guess thank you if you've subscribed. If you haven't, please consider doing so. The more subscribers, the more likes, the more traction the channel gets, the further these messages go and they get out to people who may need to hear them. Thank you again, Cancer. I wish you a wonderful September, and I send you now off with many blessings.